Hello, good evening or good morning, wherever you are in the world. My name is Trisha Bomardi. I'm the Director of Education for Jane. I'm so excited for you guys to join us this evening. We have Jamie Kemp on the line with us. We are going to give everyone a few minutes to sign on, and then we will get started. Oops. Share my screen. Jamie, can you see the PowerPoint?
I can. Let me see. Maximize my screen. I can. Yep.
Okay, perfect. If I could just get somebody who is logged on to type into the question box that you can hear me and also see myself and Jamie, that would be fantastic. Jamie, the funny thing is, I have to laugh. The redder my eyes get, the more green they get. So maybe it's not a bad thing to have allergies.
Right.
Awesome. I'm so glad, Melanie. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Yes, we are learning as we're going. So yes, the PowerPoint is attached. We, as a handout, we've also attached a few other documents that everyone's been asking for. So thank you so much. Hi, Lane. Hi, Monica. Perfect. All right. We still have a few people signing on, so I'm just going to give them one more minute. Thank you all for joining us this evening or morning. Where is everyone at? I want to know because I'm envious of the world right now. I so miss jumping on a plane and just adventuring out. I did get to go to the grocery store today. That's a thing.
That's a big trip.
It's a huge trip. It's like an hour down the mountain, and then you have to go to the grocery store, and then almost another, it's not technically an hour. But it can be depending on traffic. Not that much traffic though. I live in Virginia. It's so crazy. My husband and I were talking about that today. We were like, are we gonna miss it or not gonna miss it? We are, talking about moving. So, all right. So I think we're gonna go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Couple housekeeping things that I always go through is if you are on your computer, you want to make my image larger or Jamie's image larger, there's a box in the right hand corner that says, it's a little square that has two arrows. It says enlarge, click on it. It'll make my face bigger. It'll make your PowerPoint smaller. Or there's another option. There might be 2 or 3 little bars underneath this, like right below my chin here. You can drag and drop depending on your settings if you're on a computer or a phone. I'm excited about launching this webinar tonight because right now in the virtual world we live in, it's how are we going to continue to stay connected to our clients? And 14 years ago when I started with Jane, we had this amazing CD, and I was thinking about this this morning, and Jane was just talking about service and surprising and delighting your clients and how to continue to stay connected with her. Even 14 years ago, that CD was actually created probably 10 years into her starting this company. So I was just thinking about it today, and I kind of feel like we are having to find a way to surprise and delight and service our clients to stay relevant in the world today. And we can still event, we can still connect, and we just have to learn how to do that remotely and Jamie and I and our team, we have calls every day and we stay connected so we can transition this into our clients. So that's what this webinar is about tonight. It's really about helping you kind of think out of the box to continue to connect with your client, but also give you some ideas of how to bring in revenue in your location. So with further ado, we're going to do some introductions.
Okay.
Jamie, I'm going to turn it over to you for a moment.
I'm Jamie Kemp, and I'm the Senior Manager of International Business at Jane Iredale. I've worked here for about 19 years, and I've had the pleasure of working with Tricia for the 14 years that she's been here. Teresa Robeson is our Senior Manager, Senior VP and General Manager of International, and she and I will swap, like she'll do the one in the morning and I'll do the one in the evening or vice versa. So next time you attend a webinar, you may have Teresa instead of me, but tonight I kind of just sit back and I will answer all of the questions that you type in and, you know, prompt Tricia when you have questions. And that's really my role here tonight. So please, if you have any questions at all, just type it right into the question box.
Well, your role is way more important than that. Jamie actually oversees and helps all of our international distributors. So all of the international distributors partners have the tools that they need. And
I did forget that piece. Yeah.
She is here tonight to help us manage all the questions. And if there's a question that you know, everyone should hear. We have a Q&A session, allotted within the webinar. So first of all, I love hosting these webinars. Like, I just love connecting with people around the world. I hope these are informative. And like Jamie said, if there's a question you have, please ask it. I know tonight's webinar is about eventing and really about how to do an in-person event or how to do a virtual event. But if there's another question, please, you have our undivided attention. We have an hour here. We're here to help you grow your business through this time. And the more we can help you grow your business, the better we all are. So tonight, our initial class objectives are staying connected with clients, and how to stay connected with her through this time. You know, every country is different on our timing, on, you know, can we open up, can't we open up? I mean, even here in the States, you know, California salons and spas still haven't opened. So every country is different, and we will help you try to figure out how to stay connected with your client. We also are going to talk about if you can have an in-person event, or is it more of a virtual event that you need to host? We will walk through some sanitation guidelines for an in-person event, so you are 100% on your safety trends. You have some guidelines to follow, and then we'll walk you through on how to actually host a virtual event. And hosting a virtual event, it sounds really easy, but sometimes behind the scenes, just kind of like a wedding, some things can go completely wrong. So I'm just going to walk you through the do's, the don'ts, the must-haves, and then I will give you some ideas of some masterclass topics and what really a masterclass is, and then some masterclass bundles, some product bundles that to drive sales, and then really optimizing your inventory. Like, what are you overstocked on, and how can we create maybe some bundles or an event based on the inventory you have, and then we can help you, again, sell through that inventory to get people walking through your door. So we have a lot to cover tonight, and again, I will do whatever I need to do to help you. If you have just an off-topic question, please type it in, and Jamie and I will kind of field those, and then we will get you your answers. So how to stay connected with your clients. So we all know you have personal emails. How many of us get a bazillion emails a day? A bazillion. But there's some specific things that you need to do in that email. You need to personalize that subject line. That subject line is going to be key in somebody actually opening up that email. The other thing is a phone call. We've all gotten away from just picking up the phone and calling people. I'm going to give you guys just a personal experience I had this week. So I get this random call, don't really recognize the phone number, and I usually don't pick up just like random unknown caller phone numbers, but I decided to answer the phone. So I answered the phone. I was like, hello. And it was the gentleman I bought my car from 2 years ago. And he said to me, hi, Trisha. He's like, this is blah, 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 from blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to call and wish you a happy birthday. Like, I know your birthday's not till next week, but I just want you to know I was thinking about you today, and I just want to offer you not only a free oil change, but when you bring your car in, we'll make sure it's completely detailed and a complete wash. He was like, the world we live in today, if I can just maintain your car to make sure your car is safe, I want to do that for your birthday. I bought that car 2 years ago, and every year this gentleman calls me. I got a phone call last year, but I didn't get the free car wash or the free oil change last year. He just called to wish me happy birthday. So that's the world we're living in today. So making that personal connection. So go through your database. If you have a client that's coming up on her birthday, if you have a client that's coming up on her anniversary, or maybe it's even her child's birthday, it's time to pick up the phone or send that very personalized email to stay connected. Once you do that, then offer a virtual consultation. Because I'm going to tell you right now, during quarantine, I really did not take care of my skin as a licensed esthetician as I should have. You could offer that consultation of, you know what, hey, would you like to do a virtual consultation? Maybe we can assess where you're at with your skin right now. Maybe we can assess, even if you're a hairstylist, where you're at with your hair. I mean, as you all can see, I have major aging growing hair, but I do have to say I kind of like it. But there are some people who might not like the skunk stripe. So it's just great to have that eye-to-eye contact, because then you can see what that person, like, you can see their facial expression, you can see if they're excited to see you. So offer a 10-minute virtual conversation. Maybe if you're even on that phone call, you can say, hey, you want to FaceTime? Because what it does is it brings us all back together. You have to see somebody to really feel or see what they're actually saying. So beyond that, go that next step further of providing that curbside service or even that local delivery. If you have, your spot's 10 minutes radius from 90% of your clients, we all know, go back. So we're 3 months. It's usually like a 3-month time period of we need to start replenishing our product. So maybe they're out of their eye cream, maybe they're out of their Latisse, maybe they're out of their Jane Iredale lipstick or foundation. So really, that virtual consultation will help you, and then you can decide like if you're going to do curbside or local delivery. This is the perfect time to not only create some special promotions, maybe that's based on your inventory. Maybe you are sitting on a ton of lip fixations right now. I promise you, if any of you watched my webinar, lip fixation is not transferring. I'll tell you right now, here's my mask, and I'm going to show you guys. See, I have this stain right here on my mask, and I did this on purpose because I want you guys to be able to see this mask and just how amazing these lip fixations are. Now, I do have a little bit of my Double Dazzle pencil on my lip because I've been trying something. I'm not sure, it might come off, but I don't know, I haven't tried this. But this is all going to be a new test for us. So if I did this. Let's just see if it comes off. Ah, ha, ha. Nothing. Not even my double dazzle pencil. You guys can still see my stain. I did that on purpose. So this is a perfect time to create some special promotions, maybe based on some overstock inventory you have. It's also a time to really ramp up your social media presence. This is, I was reading an article today. Instagram has over 5 billion views, not use, views a day. So if you are not Instagram savvy, it's time to get Instagram, Facebook savvy to continue to connect with your client. And then the last thing is connecting with your client is maybe you have those special clients that have compromised immune systems. Let's create a special hour. And I will say earlier in the morning would be the best time for them. It's kind of like, think about it, I hate to say this, but surgeries. Usually, if you do your surgeries earlier in the morning, you have less risk of catching all kinds of crazy stuff. So maybe from 8 to 10, it's only for your clients who have a compromised immune system to come in and pick up their products, or maybe to come in and do a service. So this is how you stay connected with your clients. And it's really, you have to look at your market to figure out what's best for you. All right, so in-person events, they used to look like this. We used to have many people sitting around the table, painting our faces, just really having fun and interacting. That's what an in-person event used to look like before the world we live in today. And eventually, one day, we're going to get back to this. But currently, this is where we're at. And we are going to have to be very conscious of if we are going to be doing some in-person events. As most of you might know that are on the webinar, this is Sean Town. He is our global educator. He's based out of San Antonio, Texas. He was at an event the other day, and he really wanted to show us like what really an in-person event is going to look like. And as you see, he's wearing his mask. He has his hand cleaning wipes. He has his brush spray, but he also is being very conscious of using his metal palette when he's working on his client and not the back of his hand. But then, as it's an appointment only, there's social distancing between the two clients, between him and the actual client he's working on. And then there is a client behind him working who is, again, wearing a mask. So this is what our in-person events are going to look like moving forward. So I'm going to kind of walk us through some must-haves for an in-person event, and then we're going to continue down to a virtual event on how to host one of those. So if you are doing an in-person event, please just make sure that you follow your region's occupancy guidelines. If you can only have 10 people in your salon or spa, then you need to follow whatever those guidelines are. And before that event, make sure you completely wipe down everything, your retail, your tester packaging with an alcohol-based disinfectant. You also spray any surface area that you are using. I highly recommend that you have multiple brush sets. And the reason why is, one, it will just help you if you are doing appointment only, an appointment only event, because if you use, let's say, these 5 brushes on your first client, you can use your brush spray to sanitize these in between your application. But once you use these brushes, they really need to be shampooed. So I would recommend that you get like a plastic container that you can literally put all of the brushes in that you've used throughout this event. So you're not reusing brushes on clients. But if, you know, let's say I've done our eyeshadow with this brush, my client, Sally, I could clean it with brush spray and then maybe do some highlight with this brush. But I wouldn't use this brush on another client. I would put it in my container, and then I would shampoo all of these brushes at the end of the night. So it's really instrumental that you have multiple sets of brushes. Make sure you have the right disposables and also hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer you should have accessible not only for your staff, but also for clients coming in for the event. If you are doing an appointment only event, please make sure you have plenty of spacing, you have plenty of chairs that clients can be socially distanced. But the other thing is just make sure that if you are doing an appointment only, that you give yourself enough time to sanitize your work area for that next client. So again, you just want to make sure you don't book yourself every 20 minutes. You know, we all used to book these really quick appointments, but now we really need to kind of think through this. Like, I might need a full hour per client, so you can sanitize and clean up your work area. If you are offering food or beverage, again, please use disposable glassware and plates. The less things people can touch, the better. All right, so during the event, again, this is a couple things. We want to make sure that all staff, if a mask is required in your region, your country, all staff has masks, and you might even need to have masks available for clients coming in. So it's all for safety. Make sure you do also, again, have plenty of hand sanitizer for staff and also your consumer coming into the salon and spa. And then again, make sure you have plenty of room to space people out during the event. One thing that you should really think about is, let's say if it's a demo only event, that the artist is up just doing an application on a model. Give the attendees or your clients who are attending a piece of paper or a color brochure. And this way they can either write down the products that they're interested in seeing, or they can write down the products that they might be interested in purchasing or highlight on a color brochure. I do know some of our international distributors translated our color brochure so they can circle or highlight. And then you have a staff member at the end of the night to walk that client through all of those products that she might have questions about, maybe she wants to purchase. But make sure your clients do have something to take notes on if it's a demonstration only event. And also have a contactless payment option. This is really great because let's say if you do have 10 or 15 people at your event and they all want to purchase products right then and there, and they don't want to sit around and wait. So it's so much easier for somebody to either PayPal you or Venmo you or Apple Pay you. So really make this process and this easy for them, so they can get in and out your door. We don't really want them getting out the door fast, but you know, we just want to make it less touchy. All right, so after the event, one of the things is that please make sure before you close up shop, you wipe down, again, all of the testers, the display with an alcohol-based disinfectant, spray down the surfaces of anywhere that consumers may have touched, and you must thoroughly shampoo your brushes. Shampooing your brushes is going to be the best way to make sure that they are completely clean. Your brush spray is great to use when you're working on a client, but you want to make sure you thoroughly clean and shampoo the brushes. The next thing is, after the event, the day after, is you need to follow up with the clients. And maybe you need to follow up again via phone, via email. Once you maybe get them on the phone, then ask them, hey, can I do a quick FaceTime with you? And we can talk about the event. Or maybe I know you bought the Great Shape Contour Kit at the event last night. I just want to make sure you understand how to use it with the contour brush you bought. So it's really a 24, 48 hour time frame is the best time to follow up with that client. After about 48 hours, if you don't follow up with that client, sometimes that's when a client starts to be like, oh, how do I use that grade shape contour? Why when I apply my contour color with this brush, does it look like I have a streak all down my face? So it's really like 48 hours is your max of what you should follow up with the client. The other thing is following up with the client within that 48 hours. Maybe it's that time to offer maybe the same discount if you offer the discount at that event with the client to say, I know you didn't get your lash conditioner. I will still honor the discount from the event if you're still interested in purchasing the lash conditioner. I know I gave you a sample. How is the sample working out? Or maybe they bought this brush. Maybe they're not a little makeup savvy. This brush is going to pick up a lot of pigment. So maybe the client's kind of questioning, did I get the right brush? Did I get the right product? You can walk them through like, yeah, you only need to tap this brush into the container 1 to 2 times to get that contour line, and you want to blend up. Maybe they really should have gotten the blending contouring brush because they're not that makeup savvy. So really understanding your brushes and knowing your client's artistry skill is so key in these not only in-person events, but also virtual events. So one of the other things that you can use in these in-person events, maybe you have a client that just does not want to come in and have their makeup done. They want to see new things, but they just don't want anyone touching their face. This is when your prescription pad is really important. Your prescription pad, you can literally walk them through a step-by-step on where to place products, how to use their brush, which brush to use, and then you can create them a look. You can create them a very simple everyday look, and then you can create them a very dramatic look. So there are some clients that might not want to be touched in an in-person event, but you can still utilize tools that you have. And write out everything that you would recommend that you would use on them, color it on your prescription pad, make a copy of it, if I would make a color copy, or give them the color copy and you snap a picture on your phone, so at least you have what you sent home with them. And then again, after that 48 hours, you should follow back up with the client to see if they can, or if they have any questions about how to recreate that look that you've drawn out for them. All right, Jamie, do we have any questions?
Not right now.
No?
Nothing yet. Nope.
Okay. I have to say, sometimes these evening webinars, they're quiet. But please, I don't care. Whatever question it is, type it in. If you have a question, just let me know. All right, so let's talk about a virtual event. And really, what is a virtual event? And how do you host a virtual event? I mean, people think hosting a webinar is really easy, but let me just tell you, I've learned from experience sometimes they can be very challenging. Because technology is sometimes challenging. So there's many different forms of virtual events that you can host. So you can host a demonstration only virtual event where you either do makeup on yourself, or maybe you have a model and you're just doing a demo and people out there in virtual world are watching you. You could also do a virtual event with hands-on. So maybe you create an event based on eyes, and you, the artists, are doing it, and your clients have the same products, and you all are just doing a hands-on virtual event. Then you can do a private VIP event for maybe your private clients. Maybe you have a private client that has a birthday coming up, and you want to offer her maybe how to do a winged eye virtual event, or maybe she's always wanted to learn how to perfect that perfect red lip. You could do a VIP client only, which is a small group of people. And then you could do also that one-on-one consultation. So maybe you've done a follow-up of an event, an in-person event, and that client maybe is struggling with the highlighting contouring that she's purchased, and you can do a one-on-one consultation. So there's many different types of virtual events that you can host. And so as we go through the webinar to the rest of the webinar, I will kind of talk about these 4 bullet points. All right, there are many different platforms that you can use. Now, I will tell you, social media and Facebook are your instant, like if you want to do something quick and easy, if you want to do a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live, those are the best way to capture your client's attention. You want to make sure those videos are very short, sweet, and simple and to the point. I mean, to the point, quick, easy, fast. It's not about doing a full face unless you're going to go on Instagram TV. You want to use social media to drive business to your salon or spa or medical office. Instagram TV is also a great way if you want to do something longer, like if you really want to do like maybe a complexion perfection type event, you know, so really kind of use social media as kind of your driver. The other platforms you can use is you could either use Zoom, GoToMeeting, as we are using GoToWebinar. And the reason why I choose to use GoToWebinar right now is because we are broadcasting throughout the globe. And GoToWebinar allows us to have a higher attendance. So where GoToMeeting, you have a lower attendance. Now on GoToMeeting and Zoom, Zoom has a Zoom webinar as well. But when you get into that Zoom, regular Zoom or GoToMeeting, you can make those virtual events a little more intimate and people can talk, they can chat. Where on GoToWebinar and Zoom webinar, most of the time everybody is muted, nobody can show their cameras. So depending on the platform and what you're trying to do, Zoom or GoToMeeting are probably one of the better options for a virtual event. Now, I did look at GoToMeeting today. You can create private rooms in GoToMeeting. So let's say if you had that VIP client, you could create her private room. And maybe that private room could be like a reoccurring meeting or event every 6 weeks. So you just have to do your research on the different platforms that are out there. Facebook and Instagram also have, you can create rooms where they create private pages. Like Jane Iredale US, we have a private page for all of our staff on Facebook that we can all kind of converse and share ideas and tricks and tips. So there are other options of creating private rooms as well. And then YouTube, you can create your own private channel where you can choose to either post your videos or post your events, or you can keep them private, individual for your client. So you just have to really find the platform that works best for you in your region. But there's so many options out there for you to use. All right, so let's talk about a virtual masterclass or a virtual event. So just so you guys know, I define a masterclass. Here in the States, we had launched a whole program where we would go into partner locations and we would host a masterclass. And a masterclass was an educator doing a demo. Let me back up. So there's 2 different types of masterclasses. So you have a demo only masterclass or you have a hands-on masterclass. So we would, depending on the partner location and also how much space we had in a partner location, we would either do a demo only where the educator was working on a model and people were watching the educator do the demo or application. Or we would do a masterclass of hands-on where we would have the students follow along with whatever the educator were doing. So as a virtual masterclass, you could do either one. Like you could do a virtual demo only, or you could do a virtual hands-on. But I will tell you, if you do the hands-on, it's going to take a lot more planning. So just kind of stay tuned. We're going to talk about some options of master classes that you can do. And these are just ideas that I've kind of come up with. There's many different master class ideas, but you could do brows and eyes. So maybe you're sitting on a lot of brow inventory or a lot of eyeshadows, maybe eye primers. So we could really focus, or you could focus that masterclass on brows and eyes. I was thinking this morning when I was getting ready for the morning webinar, I was like, oh my God, I really wish I would have gone and gotten my brows tinted and my eyelashes tinted before all of this happened. So you could even incorporate an in-person event where people come in and maybe they do a brow tint, a lash tint, and then they walk out with the products of filling in once their tint goes away with a brow product, a lash product, and then throw in a lip product, because we all know we all want our lips or cheeks to kind of pop. Then you could do a tag on virtual event, and you could call it brows, lips, and lashes. So there's so many things that you could do. Highlighting and contouring. Again, if you're sitting on a ton of contour kits, or if you're sitting on some of the deeper, darker foundation shades, you can totally use our foundation shades as a contour, or our lighter shades like Ivory or Bisque as highlights. You could do lips and mask. I mean, I showed you guys my lovely little lip fixation. See my mask here. The fixation's not coming off. So you can really focus on different things from a virtual standpoint. Our spring collection, maybe you've brought in the spring collection, maybe you want to create a spring collection bundle and do a hands-on application. And you can also even do a town hall. Maybe you have 3 or 4 different vendors that want to get on a virtual meeting and introduce new products. Maybe you have a skincare line that's launching a new moisturizer. Maybe you have an eyelash growing serum, and you have our new spring collection. You could literally do a town hall with all of your vendors. So there are so many opportunities for you to continue to connect with your clients. I was on Facebook the other day, or Instagram, and one of our field sales educators was out, and she was doing a virtual masterclass, and it was cupcakes and cocktails. I was like, 2 of my favorite things. I was like, I'm going to so steal that name. So make it fun, make it engaging, make it like something enticing. Remember, surprise and delight. If we surprise and delight, we can even do that virtually with clients. Wine Wednesday, trust me, on Wednesday, I'm ready for some wine because we're here and we really want to just maybe take a step back and talk about maybe how my passion lipstick is not going to transfer to my wine glass on Wednesday. So really kind of just take a step back and just think how fun we could make these events. As you see the image that we have of these 3 eye looks, these eye looks were created with our spring collection. So let's say you want to do a hands-on class with your clients. So create a bundle. I have a little bag here. So create your little spring bundle, pack it up in one of your Jane Iredale bags, your little other Jane Iredale bags, and do your curbside pickup of the entire spring collection. Now, to come to a spring collection virtual event, I absolutely say I would charge for that event. So let's say whatever products you decide to put in this bag is the cost to do the virtual event. So there's so many things you can do to really get your clients engaged. And then the night of the virtual event, your clients have the products and they could recreate one of these 3 eye looks as you're all on Zoom or GoToMeeting or whatever platform you use. So there are a couple things that go into planning an event. I absolutely 100% say give yourself plenty of time. And I'm always an overachiever. I think, oh, I can do that in 2 hours when it really takes me 10 hours. So give yourself at least 2 weeks to plan a virtual event. And the reason why is because, again, you have to understand the platform you're using. You want to make sure that you can keep your attendance manageable. If you don't understand your platform and you have 500 people on there, and then you can't help everyone. So just give yourself plenty of time to plan. You also want to make sure you have good lighting. And I don't have my ring light up because I wanted to show you guys my ring light. Let me see what I did with it. So you really want to have a good ring light. So the lighting I have right now is just a regular light, which is fine. But I find if you do have a good ring light, and this one's not set up right, but it goes like this, and then either your phone or iPad fits into this area. And the one thing about this ring light that I like is that it's got a cover, and I can control just how bright or how light I'm going to make my face or my model's face. Now, the other thing is I personally recommend you hosting a virtual event from a computer. Yeah, I mean, if you have an iPad, that's okay. You could do an iPad, but you really want to get more of a high-tech webcam. And the reason why I personally like to do it from a computer is because if you have a larger monitor, you can use that monitor kind of as your mirror. So one thing about the Logitech camera that I have is it has a mirror little aspect to it, to where I can click that button and my monitor becomes my mirror. So I'm not having to sit here and look in this mirror down here to do my application for you guys not to see it. So I can totally use my monitor. So you want to make sure you definitely have your setup planned if you're going to do a self-application. Now, if you're doing a model, again, you just want to make sure that you can zoom in on that model so they can see the actual application. The other thing is be very conscious of your background. You don't want a lot of dark colors. You don't want a lot of stuff behind you because it is very distracting. As you guys see, I do have my Jane Iredale fragrance back there, which I don't ever use. A special token. So you just want to kind of keep your background not so bad. White usually is a great background. Always record your session, and just so you guys know, we are recording the sessions, and we are getting better at this. So after this webinar, the recording should go out via email. Just like you guys have the handouts right now, you should be able to download them before the webinar is over. But we are hopefully GoToWebinar is getting out those emails with the link to the recorded session. And then whenever you're doing your event, make sure you have your supplies in an area where you're not having to run and pick things off of a test unit. And also, if you're doing these virtual events, you need to have your inventory, because you might have a client type in that says, I want everything that that artist used on the model. Just send it to me. And if you don't have it in inventory, then you have to order it, then that client has to wait. So please make sure whatever you're going to be hosting in these virtual events, you have on hand so your clients don't have to wait. All right, the next thing is promoting the virtual events. You definitely need to make sure you either you create an invitation with all of the event details and be very specific. Is it virtual? Is it in person? If it is virtual or even in person, make sure you have an RSVP date, especially for your out-of-town clients if you're going to do a hands-on class. So you want to be able to make sure that you get those products out to the clients before the event. Also, make sure to be very specific on what products we're going to be using in the event. You know, maybe the client already has the Great Shape Contour Kit, and they might be that Great Shape Contour Kit might be in their dresser or their makeup drawer that they haven't used because they're like, oh, I tried it, it didn't work. So maybe that will spark, oh, I might be able to learn how to use that contour kit now. So be very specific on what products you're going to use. Send out that invitation either via email, social media. Just the more you can send it out, the better. Be very clear on costs. Now, if you are going to charge for a virtual event or even an in-person event, the cost should go towards product. So let's say you charge $50 for the cost of this event. The client, you should pay that $50 forward to the cost of the product. And also, if you're going to offer special offers, I will tell you, I will sometimes go to an event or join an event just because I'm getting a 15, 20% savings. So really be very clear on that. And the last thing I have on here are brushes and tools. This is really important, not only for your artists, but for everybody attending. So if it is a hands-on event, tell them, like, make sure you have your foundation brush or your contour brush or your fan brush. And if they don't, then that's an opportunity for you to, again, sell brushes or tools for the actual event. So I do have some bundling suggestions. And again, these are all just suggestions. I would highly recommend you to go through your inventory and base these product bundles on your inventory and also the masterclass or the virtual event that you're doing. So you could do an eye event and offer Smooth Affair for eyes, maybe one of your eyeshadow kits, or if you're sitting maybe on a lot of triple eyeshadows. I just use pink quartz on my cheeks because I kind of scraped the top of the pink one off. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a dual-ended product. I could use it as my eyeshadow. I could use it as my highlight. I even put it on the center of my lip, this lighter color. So maybe you're sitting on a bunch of triple eyeshadows that we could show multi-use, multifunctional properties to. Throw in a brow pencil, maybe an eyeliner. So create that nice little eye bundle that they could, follow along on a hands-on eye event. But then again, it's all about surprising and delighting. Throw in some deluxe size minis of lash conditioner and mascara with a forever lip and cheek stain, because you throw those in, then you can literally do a full face in that eye webinar or that eye virtual event. Highlighting and contouring. I mean, how many of us want to minimize? I definitely want to minimize my lovely double chin here, I'm going to call it my quarantine chin. But maybe we have a lot of the highlighting Great Shape contour kits or a brush, and then maybe you're sitting on a ton of Complete or In Touch Comfort, so that you could just pop on the cheek and then pop a little blush from the contour kit, and then 24 karat gold dust and a fan brush. So really go through your inventory and find some product bundling that you can offer for your clients, for you to circle through your actual inventory. You could do that lip event with a lip fixation and a triple wax and maybe a pencil, or maybe you throw in your double dazzle or your pink and white pencil. Or if you're sitting on the most fabulous brush ever, it's the Snappy brush that we launched a bazillion years ago, I feel. But this brush, I just have to tell you guys, is the most amazing lip and eye brush ever. So you have your angled brush that you could do brows and then your angled eyeliner with. If I needed to go in and etch out like a line, like maybe I got my red lip line, I could literally take the side of this angled brush and just cut that line with the angled brush. Or maybe I need to smudge out a liner with the smudge brush here. Or if I really wanted to like go in and work my Cupid's bow with the pink and white pencil. I could just smudge it out. If I wanted to put my white pencil on the inside corner of my eye, smudge it out. But the best brush, let me just tell you, is the most fabulous crease brush. This crease brush, you can carve out a crease with it, but this is the absolute best lip brush you will ever experience in your life. And the reason why is because it has the most precise tip, and you can literally round out your Cupid's bow. And then when you go to do your entire lip, you literally cover the entire lip space, and you don't have to worry about getting outside of your lip line. This is the best brush ever. You can do so many things with it. So if maybe you're sitting on a ton of these, incorporate this as the gift of purchase. So literally, it's really about going through your inventory and just trying to figure out, what products can I bundle together to move through my inventory so we can bring in new on-trend things. And then you could also do a complexion event. And a complexion event is, maybe it's going to take a few steps to get to that complexion event. So you get the client the right foundation or the right color concealer. Maybe it's that one-on-one consultation of, so let me color match you virtually, and then you can come in and pick up your products, and then we'll do our virtual event. So there are so many other options. These are just some suggestions, but by all means, I would love to hear if anyone is doing any virtual events, and if you've created your own product bundles for them, please type them in, let us know, because it's really about driving sales to your business. All right, so the actual day of the virtual event, I personally try to sign in 10 minutes, 5 minutes before the event. Now, when you're new to all of this, you might need to sign in. Now, I do sign in about 30 minutes before my event. So GoToWebinar allows me, the host, to sign in early in a practice mode. So then I can get my screen set up, I can get all my lighting set up, make sure my space is set up. So you can sign in early in a practice mode, and then once I hit broadcast, then that goes live and all of you join. So you should try to do that about 5 minutes before, so everybody can sign on, so you can start right at the hour. But once everybody signs on with their personal link, the clients can follow along with the artist if it's a demo, if it's a hands-on, or even they can, you can put in a handout for them to have the prescription pad, and then they can literally, on the prescription pad, they can print it off, or they can take it on their phone, and there are apps on your phone that you can draw on the prescription pad. So they can write down, or they can go into their notes and they can write down products that, oh, I like that product that the artist used. So again, then that goes back to your follow-up. The other thing is leave plenty of time for Q&A. I will tell you, you should have a moderator to kind of manage your question, your Q&A, because if you get a bunch of people on, it's really hard for one person to handle all of the questions coming in. So you should have somebody moderating the questions coming in. And then you should, after the webinar, divvy up those questions to your staff for them to follow up with their clients. One of the things Teresa had said to us the other day is creating a hashtag. So maybe you create a hashtag for clients after the virtual event to post their pictures if it was a hands-on, or maybe post their pictures of the look that they created with the products that they bought. And if they do post those pictures, maybe you offer them an additional savings on their next purchase. It's really generating more sales for you. But what it's also doing is it's generating content for your social media page. So really think through, have your clients, if they're doing something, maybe you're doing a lip look, and maybe have a red lip, a pink lip, a plum lip, and have those clients post those pictures for you of the lips that they created. And then it's free content for you to post on not only the social on Instagram, Facebook, but even your website. So it's just also it's a win-win for everyone. All right, and then post event again, it's all about follow up, send that personal email or phone call. Again, offer that door-to-door delivery or curbside pickup, the one-on-one consultation, and then close that sale. You know, maybe the client came to the virtual event and they just really didn't buy anything. By picking up the phone and having that one-on-one consultation, usually somebody does not buy something, it's because their questions weren't answered. So it allows you to close that sale. Maybe it's they really want to try that Great Shape Contour Kit, but we only showed the cool kit and they didn't realize we had a warm or a deep kit. So it really is for you to not only do that personalized consultation, but it's also for you to help close that sale and answer all those questions that your clients might have. All right, so just so you guys know, we do have the toolkits, the sanitization guidelines back to business, and also the retail selling toolkits attached here in the webinar. If you go to the handout section, for the majority of our non-Spanish, our non-English, not Spanish, English speaking countries, the IDPs have translated them. So if you would prefer to have them in your native language, just get with your IDP, and most of them have translated these, but they are attached here in the webinar if you want to download them. But it just really talks about just sanitation guidelines throughout, you know, what we recommend, and then also just some retail selling tips and tricks, and also bundling ideas for you to move forward. And last but not least, Jane has always said, makeup should look good, feel good, and be good for your skin. I hope tonight's webinar was very helpful and everybody took something away from it. I would love to hear from you guys. Jamie, do we have any questions?
No questions right now. No.
None? Wow. Awesome. Well, I'm pretty proud of myself. I did that in almost an hour. I do have to say one thing. I will just say, if you do one of the best things that you could do right now is really go through your inventory. Go through your inventory and see what you're overstocked on. So I love these Double Dazzle pencils, and I was telling Jamie when I got on the webinar tonight, I live in Virginia. It's allergy season. It is so bad. I turned on my camera and I'm like, oh my God, I look like I've been crying like all day. My eyes were so red. This Double Dazzle pencil, I literally put it right through my waterline and put it on my lips. I did a little bit on my cheeks. And then I did take the pink quartz eyeshadow because it had kind of, the pink had kind of crumbled. And I tapped it on my cheeks and I was like, oh my gosh, who would have thought? Like these two little products would have just like instantly made me feel better. So just literally go through, think out of the box right now. I mean, I would have never used this as a highlighter on my cheek ever. So, you know, just, yeah. So that's all. So yeah, on my lips, I love it. I'm going to be using both of these from now on. All right, did we get a question? I think I saw the question box pop up.
Oh, just Monica saying it's all very helpful. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us. We do have webinars scheduled for all next week. I know our distributors are sending out the links. We also sent out an email to the distributors today with the rest of June's webinars. Anyone out there who maybe speaks Spanish, Edgar Dominguez, our global educator here in the States, will be offering some of our webinars in Spanish. So if any of you do speak Spanish and you would like to attend one of his webinars, let us know. Just shoot us over an email. You all will be receiving an email with a survey. Please, please, please. If you could just take 5 minutes to answer the survey. by answering that survey, it gives us feedback on what we can do better for you guys, the webinars that you're looking for. We are doing these to help you guys grow your business. And the more constructive feedback we get, the better. So please, if you could just take 5 minutes to answer our survey, that would be fantastic. And also be on the lookout. Once this webinar is over, the video should be sent out automatically, the recording. So this is something new we're trying. So if for some reason by Saturday, if you haven't received your video link, just please email us back and we're trying to figure out we'll figure out why it didn't go out. So that's all. Thank you so much for joining us. Jamie, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Trisha.
Yeah,
Okay.
please make sure to download the handouts before you exit the webinar. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. Bye.
Bye.